One of my favorite hymns is "My Hope is Built on Nothing Less." And the hymn begins, "My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand." Now that hymn borrows its theme from Jesus' words in Matthew 7. And he concludes his Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 7 with the parable of the wise and foolish builders. Jesus says, "Those of you who hear these words of mine and does them will be like the wise man who built his house upon the rock. The rain fell, and the floods came, the wind blew and beat on the house, but it did not fall because it was planted on the rock." And he says, "Those of you who hear these words of mine and don't do them, you're like the foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain fell, the floods came, the winds blew and beat on the house, but his house fell, and great was its fall." Now, Jesus says that building your house on the rock means being a doer and a hearer of his words. The same charge is found in James 1:22. Be doers of the word and not just hearers, deceiving yourself. And in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus gives plenty of examples that the Christian can employ to do the words of Christ. We can pray for our enemies. We can love our enemies. We can be peacemakers. We can turn the other cheek. We can put away unrighteous anger. There are countless examples in the Sermon on the Mount. One last point before I try to catch a few fish. Notice that the storms still come for the person who built his house on the rock. As Spurgeon noted, the storm was the common trial for both houses. He wrote, "Whether your religion be true or not, it will be tried. Whether it be chaff or wheat, the fan of the great winnower will surely be brought into operation upon all that lies on the threshing floor." For the person who built his house on the rock, the storm still came. The rain still came. The flood still came. The wind beat against the house, but it did not fall. Again, we're not guaranteed a stormless life even if we build our house on the rock. But when the storms and the floods wash away everything else, you'll still be left holding something that moth and rust can't destroy.